I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's a filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
All right. Okay, the last song on the docket tonight is Creeping Death, The Common Breed. Literally the day after I sent the original list to Sori, this band from Dallas, Texas released the death metal album of the year for now. The band is Creeping Death. The album is Boundless Domain, and the name of this song is The Common Breed. Interestingly enough, this band, like the previous one, also has a background in hardcore. But I guess they decided to jump on the new wave of old school death metal. This song is unequivocally the heaviest song you will hear tonight. I want to see limbs flailing and heads bobbing. Metal!
We'll see about that.
All right.
Long live Brazil, by the
Headphones.
way.
Wait.
Long live Brazil. Put on your headphones.
Long live Brazil.
Here we are. The Common Breed. Let's go.
Here it comes.
What are the lyrics? Did I get the lyrics?
The Common Breed, Creeping Death.
Yes. Yes, Pinky. With
house. The way that your voice came through the headphones, you had like a really creepy. I was like, "Yo, where is the song going?"
And we got a mega echo going on right now. There's a mega echo happening right now. So when I said that, it created a complete, whatever. The sanctity of life. What's that last line? The sanctity of life slips away for victim world. I have to say, like, that line stuck to me. One, because it was the last line, but because I've been seeing so many memes making fun of the people that died in that submersible, and I was genuinely taken aback by it. I was shocked. Like, I thought the entire country was kind of united in like wanting the best for these people, wanting them to see them come out. I was like, man, they traumatized the whole country.
Yeah.
Then I go online. I'm like, man, the country ain't traumatized. People are like making jokes about it. The only thing I could come to is that these were rich people, and they basically spent a house on that trip. You know what I'm saying? It's $250,000.
I mean, babe, most people don't have $250,000 houses.
Right. That's $250,000.
That's
right.
$250,000.
Like, so like I understood that part about it, but man, like it's really crazy. It's one of those things where social media allows you to ventilate like the worst aspects of your personality under some sort of veiled anonymity that you have. Mm-hmm. But then I feel like it creates when like our sinful nature gets memified, it kind of spreads like a virus. So like even
because then everybody starts jumping in on it.
Even if you were normally an empathetic person, when you see that blatant lack of empathy, and then you see like 15 laughing emojis under it, people start saying, well, maybe I was taking this too seriously. Maybe these people are right. They don't realize that like this accounts for like half of 1% of society. Like most people aren't looking at it this way. But in your little Facebook world, this guy's got 15 people laughing at the death of these people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then your psychology starts changing to conform to that because we're pack animals, right? So you're going to go along with the pack. And so then now your psychology is... So like not only is social media allowing you to ventilate the worst aspects of your nature, but it also has the ability to corrupt you and make you a darker, less feeling person that you normally were. It's a crazy, crazy dynamic to me. While we were caught up about billionaires stuck in the sub, news at JP Morgan deleting 47 million emails with Jeffrey Epstein that Congress subpoenaed. Yeah, I agree. I'm sure there was some ulterior, motive that, it was a distraction for. Like, I understand that. I'm not even talking about that aspect of it. I'm just talking about the aspect of... Because initially the story was they're under there and it's like
freezing,
they're in complete darkness.
They can hardly breathe. Like they
can't
have to
hardly
conserve
breathe.
air.
And there's no room to like stretch out your feet, and
they were sitting Indian style.
You're sitting Indian style for 3 or 4 days. Like it was a horrible thing to think through. It was supposed to be
like a 20-minute trip or something like that.
It was a horrible thing to think through.
And you were like their lungs, the frost is on the windows. It's pitch black. Like they were terrifying. It was like such a horrible thought.
Right, but like the sanctity of life in total has...
But you didn't hear people mocking it at that point.
No.
At that point, everybody was... It felt like everybody felt it, and everybody was feeling the trauma of it.
Well, yeah, and once people realized that they essentially died instantly, nobody cared anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I agree. There was a lot of hubris, but the hubris was... Like, if everybody made fun of the CEO, because the CEO was the guy that really screwed everything up, and to Sadie's point, he was saying safety was a waste and all this, like, so, like, I understand, like, animosity toward him, but, like, the rest of the people, like, really?
Yeah, because every time I see that, I think, because I don't know if everybody's familiar with it, but there was a 19-year-old kid that didn't really want to even go, but he decided to go to have like a bonding time with his dad. He had a panic attack before he even went in there. Yeah. Like if that being in like that kid didn't even want to be there. He did it to.
I know. Yeah.
That's so horrible. So like when I see the people making fun of them, I'm like, you're making fun of that kid that like.
Yeah, I just don't like. But we just don't care about human life, man. We really don't care. But and then somebody had posted on Middle America that apparently there was like this ship of like 70 immigrants
Yes.
that capsized, and they were still digging bodies out of the ocean, and nobody was talking about them.
Anything.
That didn't get the news. Nobody cared about that.
I did hear something about that as well.
And so it's like, okay, that's a point taken. But I'm not sure that the proper response to that is to laugh at the people that did die. A lot of it just has to do with the fact that they were insanely rich, and a lot of people are under huge financial duress all of a sudden. So now you want to, spike the football on the bodies of these rich people that died because they spent a house on something that you could have used that $250. Like, I understand that too, but it doesn't make you very hopeful for the human race, man, as far as how we are. But yeah, it is interesting. Like, before, when we thought that there was still hope, nobody was really making fun of them.
I didn't see any jokes.
Once everybody found out that they died almost instantly, probably wouldn't even have known what happened. Then all the memes came out because I guess people were like, well, I mean, they didn't suffer, So I guess that's a standard now,
Yeah,
is
but
whether
that's
or
so
not people
crazy
suffer.
because
I don't know.
again, even if that was a standard, and you were like, well, they're dead, their family is not dead. Like, their families, all those people are seeing all that stuff coming across their social media. And the thing is, like, a lot of people want to go to social media to escape from the reality of their lives. So, like, if you have lost somebody in that tragedy and you want to just scroll through Facebook and try to, like, take a break, you're going to see all this people mocking their deaths.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's pretty crazy. Societal delusion with war and savagery, we find ourselves obsessed, a lust for power, brimming with greed. Spoon-fed lies, blind to see, only death can set us free, unrelenting misery, the product of
The product of
everybody talks about propaganda.
Yeah.
I've asked this question a few times. Nobody's ever answered. Like, when were you propagandized by your country? Like, is it possible that you've lived in the only superpower or in the Western world? Do you really believe it's possible? Not that your government has attempted propaganda, but that the government successfully propagandized you.
But
like,
you wouldn't know.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Is
That's the
everybody
question.
loves to feel like they're above it all. Mm-hmm. So they love to say, "Oh, that's propaganda." Blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but we've got like the most powerful intelligence apparatus on the planet ever in the history of human beings. What are the odds, you think, that you haven't been successfully propagandized by it? Because I can tell you right now, if you're taking the party line on this Russia-Ukraine situation, if you're taking the orthodox interpretation of what's going on with Russia-Ukraine, you are absolutely propagandized, 100% without a shadow of a doubt. But see, this is the thing about these people is they understand the way that the human ego works.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to admit that they've been propagandized because everybody's got their own little ego. So they want to believe. Everybody wants to believe that like they know. That's where all this QAnon stuff, all the rest of this stuff comes from. It's like, everybody else is deceived, but I know what's actually going on. And then the people that are mocking the QAnon people, it's like, it's like, yeah, but you also believe that your government lied you into a war with Iraq. Like, so when I could tell you, I was successfully propagandized after 9/11. The sequence of events were perfect. 9/11 happened, and then like Black Hawk Down. It was interesting. I was listening to Crystal and Saga, and they were talking about the military-industrial complex as it relates to Hollywood, and how the
what industrial?
Military-industrial complex.
And how it relates to what?
How it relates to Hollywood. So, for example, movies like Saving Private Ryan, where you have
100%.
military, there's a show called SEAL Team out right now. Like, I watched like 30 minutes. I was like, this shit ain't.
It was just propaganda.
No, but I'm like, no, this is not how that shit actually. That's not how that happens at all. Like, not even a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is that? But
Well, what did it seem more like?
I couldn't even. That's why I'm watching. Like, you would figure that'd be a show I'd watch.
Yeah.
I can't even watch that show. I'm like, man, that shit is between the fuck out of here. I ain't watching that shit. It's ridiculous. Like, one of them have a cape too. Like, he goes like this and he can fucking fly off and shit. Oh, really? Yeah, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh man, I would like to watch you watch that.
But that's the thing.
I'll sit and watch your reactions.
Like, if you look at everybody in my generation that ever joined any sort of SMU or anything like that, almost to a man, they've all seen Black Hawk Down. Like, Black Hawk Down was like formational for so many people. Like, you have no idea. Wow. It was probably
how much of it was a lie? Or how much of it was like on point with what really happened?
No, a lot of the shit was on point. I mean, they collapsed a couple. They collapsed a couple of the characters, like John Mace Judas and Paul Hooten. They made one person. You know what I'm saying? But Mace is like a true super. He didn't do any consulting at all with those dudes. Like, the dude's like a complete, like, he kept the quiet professionalism thing from A to Z. Wow. But if you look at when Black Hawk Down was released in the social context of Black Hawk Down, like, and the news, I remember specifically the news connecting bin Laden to what happened in Somalia. Because there was one little khutbah, little speech where bin Laden said, look, even if we're outmatched by these guys, Allah will give us a victory. And he talked about Somalia. Now, in reality, we killed hundreds and hundreds we stacked hundreds and hundreds of bodies. They got 18 of ours. So it wasn't this giant victory, but psychologically they had dudes dragged through the streets, all the rest of it. And so he was able to use that propaganda. See, that's the other thing too, is the enemy engages in propaganda. So they were able to use that propaganda in a very effective way, because he was talking about Somalia and said, look, we faced the full strength of the U.S. military. They didn't allow us to have AC-130s and all the other shit that we asked for in the mission profile. But, none of that shit. So you were not fighting the full force of the U.S. military. It's 100 dudes against an entire city, and hundreds of y'all ended up dying in pretty horrific ways, and 18 of our guys got lost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it doesn't matter, because they have dead Americans on TV and drag them through the streets, all that shit. So bin Laden made reference to that. CNN and Fox, I remember specifically. Oh yeah, bin Laden was in. I remember telling people bin Laden was in Somalia during the whole Black Hawk Down conflict and all that shit. So like, I was completely and totally into that story. You don't even need to be brainwashed. I didn't need to be brainwashed. I wasn't brainwashed. Brainwashed like implies like some like long standing. That's not what happened. I was at a height of emotional, because I'm watching Americans jump off a building. Yeah. Right. And
you were in one location, and your girlfriend was.
And my girlfriend was in the other lolocation. Yeah, my brother was still in New York City. My brother's actually worked in that area, like.
And you lost people in that building.
Yeah. I lost my aunt. In that rest in peace to her. Like, so, I wasn't brainwashed in the sense. It was just I had all this emotion, and they kept playing the same thing over and over, and the planes crashing, and then the Green Berets running out of the Stryker vehicles and shit, and like that's all. And then fucking man, once Black Hawk Down came out, of course, it's about the man next to you. It's all it is. Like,
what'd you say? What the man next to you?
It's about the man next to you. It's all it is. So, like, you're completely and totally propagandized by the government. Like, completely. For the GWAT. For 100%. So, it's just crazy to me. Like, I'm watching this whole situation with Trump and things like that, and Elon Musk. It's like nobody's like looking at these patterns. Like fucking 3 years ago, Elon Musk was like the savior of the world. Yeah. He was fucking, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's gonna bring us to Mars. Now he's like, you're supposed to hate him. Worst, yeah. Like, boom, these people have control over your emotions. They control what you think about people. But you really believe that you found a way up and above all that shit. Like, the only way to protect yourself from propaganda is to understand your vulnerability to it. Yeah. And to understand that these people understand your ego and know how to use your ego against you. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of what's happening. And that's why a lot of people double down and dig in on shit. Like, when it's clear, like, a lot of these actors over there in Ukraine are not good people. But they can't come out and say that because they came out so strongly before, and their ego won't allow them to say, okay, I was wrong about these people. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like,
that's not good.
It's like, like Ukraine, like they were literally showing videos from Call of Duty, the Ghost of Kiev, all these lies at the beginning. And then like last week or something, they published this thing where a Russian soldier
Yeah.
was like begging for help to surrender,
It was this
and the
weird-
Ukrainians are so nice and they allowed this dude to surrender. It's like, come on, you believe that really? I had a very person that I love very dearly showing this to me. Look how great the Ukrainians are. I'm like, you really believe that that's how this shit went? Like, are you kidding me? These people tie their own citizens to the fucking. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They treat women and children like absolute garbage, but they're gonna do this for a Russian. Come on, man, like, get out of here, dude. It's ridiculous. It's like, well, how does he know Russian? He was speaking Russian. I'm like, these people are like genetically connected. Like, they're the same people, of course. Ah, man. But anyway, the song's about propaganda and how easy it is to be propagandized. And here we are. Wow. I laughed at the movie Red Spatter where they had an ex-CIA consultant who knew nothing about Russia. He was never assigned there. It was laughable. Just because these people are connected to these, to these organizations, it doesn't mean they're experts in it. Like, you know what you know about your particular area.
Oh wait, I think I misread what she said.
Yeah, like
wait, it was the opposite.
It's Red Sparrow, and
nothing.
they had a CIA agency consultant on there,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy's talking. He obviously didn't know much about Russia or whatever. That's an entirely different, like, psychological profile. Like, you talk to me about the Middle East, the Islamic world, shit like that. Like, I can wing my way, but I don't know anything about Europe. I don't know anything about those things. Like I was saying, like, I have no idea. Like, I have just as much knowledge as anybody else about that area. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're there's a specific area, a specific group of people that's pretty much your life, whatever. Like, there's people in the Horn of Africa, whatever. They don't know anything about what's going on. I mean, a lot of these people don't even know what's going on in this country. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't make you an expert on any of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't, even if you get assigned to some place like the Middle East or the Middle Eastern Islamic area, it doesn't make you an expert there either. It just makes it so that you can hang around there for 2 or 3 days without people realizing that you're an American. But you don't have enough to stay there for a very, very long time unless you're, So you learn the language, all that shit, to get, like, deeply embedded and everything. That's why you had, Shrek was talking about how he just pretended he had MR, that he was just mentally retarded.
Yeah.
And so he was using the Pashtunwali. But again, he was able to make that play. If he would have tried that in Turkey, it wouldn't have worked. But because he understood that the nature of Pakistan and Afghanistan and Pashtunwali and things like that, that could work. But again, you have to know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Didn't David in the Bible do that one time?
Yeah. Look. The dude was based in. He's stationed in Egypt. Mm-hmm. So he was part of the African. Okay, so he was in the African region. And so, what the hell does he know about
Russia?
Yeah. But it's like, oh, you're in the agency. That means you're, whatever. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, that's not what determines, like, who ends up where. Or, it's not always like you're the elite, whatever. A lot of times it's just you have a particular thing that works, and so they're like, all right, we'll go with that guy. But Anyway, we've all been propagandized. Like, if you don't think you've been propagandized, you've been propagandized. Believe me. And our inability to admit that we're vulnerable to that is what gets used against us. So, solid 9.1 for me.
9.3 for me.